He thought letting you go would bring peace, that the distance would dull his thoughts, that time would erase your imprint, but instead, you show up everywhere, in moments he can't control, in dreams that feel more real than the choices he made. Wide awake, you see the soul doesn't forget what the mind tries to bury, and though he walks like he's fine, laughs like nothing lingers, his spirit still stirs every time you cross his dreams. Because dreams don't lie, they remember what the heart won't admit. There's a place inside him that still responds to your presence, not because he wants to, but because something sacred never closed. He sees your face in sleep not as memory, but as message. You were never a phase, you were a mirror, a wake-up call he ignored. He gave up on the connection in the natural, but the spiritual, it still pulses. You show up in his subconscious when the ego is finally quiet. And in that silence, your voice echoes louder than ever. Not angry, not bitter, just truth. What haunts him most isn't your absence. It's how your energy still wraps around him without permission. He told himself he was done, but the soul knows better. The soul knows what presence feels like when it's been touched by something pure. He dreams of the softness you carried, the way your love didn't demand but invited. And every time he wakes up, there's a hollow ache where your warmth used to live. He doesn't speak of it, but his spirit does. It whispers in the quiet moments he can't avoid. He misses your understanding, your peace, the way you saw through him even when he tried to hide. And in his dreams, he doesn't wear a mask. That's why they shake him. Because in those places, he's vulnerable. And you're still there, whole, untouchable, rising. You were never just a woman. You were an assignment, a divine interruption. And while he may have walked away, your purpose in his life didn't dissolve. It just moved into a different realm. One where he feels you more than he ever truly saw you. He can't explain it to his friends. He won't admit it to himself, but each dream leaves him restless. Not because you're haunting him, but because you're healing without him. And that healing glows even in his unconscious. You no longer wait. That's what his soul feels. He senses that you're no longer holding space, no longer bending your light to meet his shadow. And that realization doesn't just wake him up, it shakes him to the core. In his dreams, you still smile, you still shine, but you're walking further each time. And even in his subconscious, he can't catch you anymore. Because your growth has made you weightless, and his regrets can't anchor what now lives in the sky. He didn't lose you because you were hard to love. He lost you because he loved with hesitation, while you loved with wholeness. And now his mind may move on, but his spirit stays tethered to the echo of what he never nurtured. You're not bitter. That's what unsettles him. You're radiant. He sees it, feels it, dreams of it, and it terrifies the part of him that thought time would make him forget. But when love is real, it never forgets. It simply waits for the day we're ready to admit what we missed. He sees you living now, flourishing, breathing deeper, laughing louder, and in the quiet corners of his nights, his dreams replay your light like a movie he can't pause, not to punish him, but to remind him, you were real, and real doesn't fade. He wishes now that he had spoken more, stayed longer, reached deeper. But his silence built the wall that now keeps you out. And in his dreams, he stands on the other side, watching you rise beyond what his fear could ever hold. The spirit remembers where it was safe, and your love was safety, even if he wasn't ready for it. That's why you keep appearing, because even after giving up, he's still connected to the peace you carried, the softness that never asked for perfection. He underestimated what distance would feel like. Not miles, but meaning. He thought the absence would quiet everything, but all it did was make your presence louder in the places he can't pretend, the ones only sleep can unlock. And while he's still searching for distractions, your dreams no longer carry his name, Because healing rewrites the stories we no longer cling to. And yours? It's now written in gold, in bold, in light. A story that no longer loops, it flows. He wanted closure, but the spirit doesn't operate on timelines. It speaks through symbols, visions, and echoes. And right now, his are filled with you. Not as you were, but as you are now. Whole, distant, free. A version of you that no longer waits to be understood. So let him keep dreaming. Let his soul wrestle. Not because you owe him, but because you honored him. And when a woman loves like that, she becomes unforgettable, even to the ones who walked away convinced they'd forget. He never imagined you'd become a lesson his soul would revisit night after night. But that's what you are now. Not just a memory, but a message. A mirror of what he couldn't hold. And the dreams don't let him ignore it because truth never sleeps. He sees you standing taller now. Even when his eyes are closed, you used to reach for him. Now, in the dreamscape, you stand still while he reaches toward a version of you that no longer extends backward. That shift? It terrifies the part of him that used to lead your story. He feels your release like a door quietly locking from the other side. Not with anger, not with drama, but with grace. And that graceful goodbye is what lingers. Because people forget words, but energy, that stays. His subconscious has become the only place where you're still close. But even there, you're slipping further away. And every night he dreams of you. It's another reminder that he waited too long to realize what he had, while it was still reaching for him. You used to bend to understand his silence. Now your silence says everything. And even in sleep, he can't escape the weight of what he didn't choose. Because while he let go in the physical, his spirit never truly released you. There's a quiet torment in knowing the best thing that ever happened to him is now the one thing he can't reclaim. He dreams of holding your hand, saying all the things he kept buried. But when he wakes, the silence between you has already spoken louder than he ever did. He sees you glowing in places he never helped you reach. And that stings, not because you outgrew him, but because he never grew with you. Now in dreams, you shine in ways his reality could never hold. And he feels that distance in his bones. His pride said you'd come back. But now his dreams remind him that you're not looking over your shoulder anymore. And that realization keeps him restless because he never imagined your healing would be so complete that it wouldn't include him. He used to run from vulnerability, but now in the stillness of night he feels everything. All at once, no defenses, no distractions. Just the quiet ache of knowing the one who saw his soul the clearest is no longer waiting to be seen. And that's what the dreams are. His soul begging for another chance, even as his ego still tries to act like nothing's missing. But something is. And no matter who he holds, who he talks to, or how loud the world gets, your silence stays louder. You once whispered love into his wounds. Now the echoes of those whispers follow him into every dream, not to haunt him, but to reveal what was sacred. And what is sacred never disappears. It simply stops showing up for those who refuse to honor it. He was never prepared for how consistent your presence would remain in his subconscious. How even after letting go, something in him refuses to forget. Because he knows now, your love wasn't needy. It was nourishing, and he starved it. He thought walking away would close the chapter. But every night he sees your face, he realizes the story didn't end. It just continued without him. And now you're the main character of a healing narrative he no longer has the courage to enter. You stopped fighting to be understood, and in doing so, you became unforgettable. because nothing stays with a man longer than the woman who left, without burning the bridge, but simply stopped walking toward it. Now he wonders if he ever really knew you, or if he only loved the version of you who stayed small to keep him comfortable. The woman he dreams of now. She doesn't shrink. She doesn't chase, she doesn't wait, she rises. And that's why he keeps seeing you. Because his spirit knows the truth. You didn't disappear, you evolved. You didn't abandon him, you returned to yourself. And that return created a distance even dreams can't erase. Every new connection he makes feels surface level compared to what you offered. And that's not because others aren't good, but because you were rare. And when a man loses rare, he spends a lifetime learning what enough really means. The dreams aren't punishment, they're prophecy. A reminder that love, when pure, never leaves empty. It leaves awakened. And though he gave up on you in the natural, heaven is using the spiritual to show him what grace looks like when it finally walks away. So let the dreams keep coming. Let his soul remember. Because you were not just a chapter in his life. You were the part he'll never be able to rewrite. No matter how many nights pass, you'll remain the one his spirit refuses to let go. He wonders now what it would have been like if he had stayed a little longer, listened a little deeper, loved a little better. That question follows him, not just in his thoughts, but in his dreams. Because the truth he ignored by day always finds him by night. In sleep, you are unfiltered. You're not the woman he projected his fears onto. You're the version of you he was too blind to see. The strong one, the patient one, the real one. And now in dreams he meets the soul he failed to honor when it mattered most. There's no more pretending. In his dreams, masks don't work. And when he looks into your eyes there, he sees his own reflection more clearly than he ever could in waking life. That's why he wakes unsettled, because for the first time, he's being fully seen. You used to fill in all the blanks for him, but now, the silence he once took for granted is teaching him what it really means to lose access to someone who loved without conditions. And that realization doesn't leave when the dream ends. It lingers. He tried to convince himself that you'd fade. But the truth is, you became brighter the moment he let go. Not because you wanted to hurt him, but because you finally stopped dimming for someone who never learned how to handle your light. The woman he dreams of now is not the same one who cried for clarity. She's the one who walked away with her. Dignity intact. She's the one who chose peace over potential. And now, even in his dreams, he can't reach her the way he once did. He may be surrounded by others now, but no one makes his soul ache like you did. No one makes his heart remember. That's the difference between attachment and alignment. Alignment lives in the spirit long after presence disappears. In his dreams, you're not bitter, you're not cruel, you're just distant, because healing moved you into a different realm. A realm he can only visit in fragments. A realm where love doesn't beg, it becomes. And you became. He didn't realize that dreams are where regret speaks the loudest. Not in screams, but in symbols. In the way you look at him without words. In the way you walk away without anger. In the way your glow reminds him of the love he couldn't rise for. He wakes up wondering if you ever think of him. But deep down he knows. You're not haunted the way he is, you don't have to be. Because you gave everything clean. And when love is clean, it doesn't chase after what couldn't hold it. The irony is, he thought walking away would protect him from pain. But what he's learning now is that pain comes not from leaving, but from realizing what you left behind was the very thing you were always praying for. Now he wonders what version of himself would have been worthy of you. But the truth is, you never asked for perfection. Just presence, just effort, just someone who wouldn't flinch when met with your truth. someone who could stay. His soul craves another chance, but it's not time that separates you now. It's transformation. And that gap? It's not just emotional, it's spiritual. Because when you evolve in silence, the distance becomes a language only the soul can feel. He tries to find your voice in other people, but no one sounds like you. No one holds space like you. No one sees him the way you did. And now, the love that once surrounded him like warmth is only reachable in those dreams. You never chase him. You never ask for anything. You just appear, grounded, glowing, silent. And that silence, it breaks him more than your words ever could, because it speaks of a woman who healed past the point of return. He may never speak of it, but the dreams changed something in him. They shook loose the arrogance, the excuses, the walls, and now he walks through life holding pieces of you in his chest, trying to understand a language his spirit learned too late. You were not a phase. You were a portal, a shift. And while he may move on in body, his soul is still somewhere trying to catch up to the part of him that always knew. He had something rare, and he let it go. Every night he hopes the dream will end differently, that maybe this time you'll turn back, say something, reach. But each night you walk further, and each time he wakes up, the ache becomes more familiar. You don't haunt him because you left. You haunt him because you loved clean. And love like that doesn't scream, it doesn't slam doors, it just stops showing up. And when it stops, the absence echoes. Let him keep dreaming. Let him keep searching, because the soul never forgets what it once called home. And you? You didn't close the door. You simply walked through it, toward a life that doesn't require sleep to feel real. Thank you for receiving this message. It found you at the exact moment your spirit was ready, not by accident, not by coincidence, by divine alignment. Your heart is healing. Your glow is growing. Your peace is rising. If this spoke to your soul, type in the comments, "I can do all things through him who strengthens me." Let this be your confirmation, your stand, your agreement with heaven. Don't forget to subscribe and tap the notification bell so you don't miss the next message sent just for you. Because angels are still speaking, and your next confirmation may already be on its way. You are loved. You are seen. You are not alone. See you in the next video.